let's go talk about what I believe right now are the stages of Age of Empires 2. Please, all the experts in chat, feel free to add on to this or adjust this if you feel like I'm going off script or there's something that I missed. But if I look at the stages of Age of Empires 2, I believe that there's a couple of things where where you are as a player, and you have to kind of learn that over time to get a little bit better. So first of all, you're in what I would call stage 0, where you just have no idea what you're doing. Like you don't even know like what build something or like what to do, and that basically starts out with like you have your TC right over here. The TC is like that free square building thing. You have like the little thing over there where you slaughter your sheep, and basically you just like get your fillers out, and you just kind of like leave them standing around, or you're just like, ooh, there's some gold over there. Let me send them over there. Ooh, like there's like water over there. Let me send them over to the water. And you just don't know really what you're doing. A lot of times you're playing against easy AI, and that might still be challenging. That's right here. It's like I think that if you're in this first stage, like your first step forward really needs to be to just kind of learn the resources, or at least that's what I had to do. Learn the rest. Learn what the hell that's doing. Then, if you move forward a little bit and you know what the resources do, and you know how to kind of build an army, like a lot of times, like once you know your resources, let's see if I need a brush right here. Let's see right there. If you're at stage 1, basically like you now have your resources, but what you're gonna do, or at least what I did, is you're gonna build your barracks, you're gonna build your archery range, you're gonna go and build your stable, you're gonna go and build your siege workshop, and you're gonna go and build your castle over here. Let me go and build the castle over there. And then what you do is you make like pretty much one of everything, and you just click all the buttons. Like this is literally what I would do, is I would go ahead and just like, you have this little menu, right? And you have like your units right here. Like you have unit 1, unit 2, like you have your trash unit, your gold unit, or your gold unit, your trash unit, your other units. I would just go and spam all the buttons. Spam all the buttons, make a big grouping army like this, and then just go attack once you hit Imperial Age. I think that the moment that you can kind of do this, in my experience, your next step should kind of be like learn build orders. Like that sounds a bit weird, because like right now, like we go from like learning your resources to like you're starting to use armies. So why do you have to go to build orders? But the reason why I believe that at least that worked for me was that here I just have no idea what I'm doing. I'm really relying on my opponent to just not do anything either. I'm really relying on them to kind of just wait until like we both have our army ready, and there we go. So then it comes to like stage 2, where you learn your build order, and in build order, basically like there's so many build orders online, where like you have all these options over there, and like what the hell you're gonna choose. So what I think is really useful here, or at least was very useful for me, is that a lot of these build orders start in feudal age, and the feudal age tends to be very, very similar for most of like the very early part. It's like, yeah, one thing that you might do is I don't know what I did here. Let's see. What did I do here? One thing that you might do at the start is, let's see, I'm here on furry villagers. So yeah, what you see right here is build 2 houses. Like take down your, let's see, hold on. You build your houses, you get on your sheep, you have 7 villagers, your 7 villagers like goes and take this. Did I go for the boar here? One thing that you may sometimes do is like, you do 6 villagers on food, and then you send like 3 over the wood. One thing that you may sometimes do is like you go for the boar, if you have a boar, before you go for the wood. But a lot of times, like all these build orders are very, very similar. This right here, I believe, was also a mega random, so that's also why I was kind of overwhelmed by all the sheep over here. But basically, like these feudal age build orders are very, very similar. So one thing that really worked for me was just like learning the feudal age. Learning, it's like, okay, so 6 to sheep, then 3 to wood, then 1 to boar, and then 1 to house plus mill. It's like, I know that by heart right now. I literally just know that by heart. It's like, if you just want to have a standard run-of-the-mill build order, like something that just works with most things, like you'll be fine. 6 to sheep, 3 to wood, 1 to boar, 1 to house the mill. Actually, you should probably go 4 on wood for this if you want to do this straight away. But most of the time, what I do is like 1 on boar, throw 2 more on the boar, so you can split them with the sheep, and there you go. So that's what I think is like kind of your stage 2. And then like once you have that feudal age like kind of locked down, you get a feeling for like, hey, I need to get my eco upgrades when I need to hit the next age. You get a feeling for like where to place your villagers, how to like work with collision. That's just what I naturally like felt like I learned over time by just like trying to work out my feudal age, basically my dark age feudal age. And then you come to like step 3, which is going back to your army again, and that is like army comp plus tactics. And what I feel like if I'm right here at like stage 2 is like a lot of like the feudal age builds, what they'll do is like they'll have a little bit of early aggression. So like here you have some early aggression where it's like, hey, you know, go in with like 8 archers and just kind of like kill 1 or 2 villagers. Go in with like 3 or 4 scouts and kill 1 or 2 villagers. But you never really go in to like take down the opponent TC. You never really go down to like overwhelm your opponent because you can't really with the army units that you have. So right here you learn a little bit of early aggression. But that is not really for me army control. It's like this right here is where I'm at right now. And from here forward, like this right here is what I believe is where I'm stuck at right now. Is like learning how to like build my army. You guys have been very, very helpful with like suggesting to me. I think it was like one of the very first videos that I did about me playing online, and then like I ended up playing archers knights, and I ran out of gold. It's like go play trash unit gold, and that was the first one of the things that I learned. Then over time, like I slowly started to play around with like trying to scout rush instead of like starting with archers, and then like building with that. I tried to actually like went ahead and like made an entire list of like how the hidden bonuses work and that sort of stuff, just to like learn how like what can I use. Oh wait, I can use skirmishers against pikemen because they actually have a hidden bonus against them. I didn't know about that. Those sort of things is like that's something that I'm learning. But again, like one thing that I'm kind of bad at is let's see, is like learning how to read the game. Like I didn't really read the game at the previous game about how to, you know, like that he only had like a small cluster ahead and like there wasn't that much behind. And that's something that I really need to get better at. Like I can apply a little bit of early aggression. Like one thing that you may see here is, where is this? Was this the game where I did that early aggression or not? Let's see. Let's see. No, this right here was the mega random, where I was also flustered about it being mega random. But right here, like this is something that I'm somewhat decent at. I've also learned a little bit about playing with like formation. So these right here are like 3 scouts, and there's like a classic scout rush at 21 minutes because that's the ideal time you want to do a scout rush. 4 scouts. This right here, like one thing I'm doing here is like have them be on box formation, have them also be on, I believe, stand ground. So what this means is that they'll only attack 1 villager. And they'll only attack that villager until that villager is down, and then you have to click them on the other villager. But that will make sure that you kill a villager instead of like hurting like 3 of them. And keeping these guys close together, I do believe this is box formation, though they'll go together very soon again. Keeping them in box formation or makes sure that, you know, they're close together and they can hit quite a bit. So that's something where I feel it's like, hey, you know, you want to get a little bit more of like, what are your tactics? Like how you're gonna like grip them together. What kind of commands are gonna send them? I've heard a whole bunch about patrol. I still don't use patrol myself. That's something I need to learn. And then it's also like, okay, so like if I'm faced with this situation, what do I do? And I think that next up, once you have like learned a little bit about like how your composition work, how your general tactics work, then it will kind of go back to 4. It will be like more the macro style, where it's like, hey, you know, so you have that natural intuition of like you have your eco and you have your army, and you have like you have this feeling of like the ebb and flow of them, and like how you're gonna balance them around, and when you can like use the tide of the battle to like, okay, so I'm gonna send like I'm gonna lower my eco, gonna go full army and like push this, and now I can like recover and like hold the line. Because one thing that I was really surprised by today is like I got completely breached, but I was able to like hold off a little bit and then like build up an eco. That's something that back in the day I would have never expected to do, because I felt like, oh man, my army is destroyed. There's a gap in my whole in my wall. I'm done for. I think that I can get better with that, and then after that, like after having that like idea of like the general flow, I think then it becomes really down to like your quick actions. That's really bad, but basically like your quick actions, like then it becomes a matter of speed. It's like how quickly can I perform all these actions and how quickly can I switch. So if I have this general idea of like how my flow goes, if something happens, how quickly can I switch, and how quickly can I like micro my units and do that sort of stuff. That's the way that I feel. Sort of. this might go, and I feel like I'm kind of here, and probably there will be a lot more. Macy James says, eventually these stages will loop back around. I can't wait for the stage where I hit like rank 5, and then I go back to just not knowing what to do anymore. I'm just standing there and be like, you go to gold. You go to you go to you go to water. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.